Hello, welcome back to the Crowswood Model Railway YouTube channel. Well, we're in the N-scale room today, on the N-scale layout, and as you can probably see, the boards are in. The boards are, it's made up of a 2 foot by 4 foot and a 2 foot by 6 foot to give me 10 foot total length. What I have at the moment is just a simple test loop, a mix of set track, streamline and flexi, just so I've got something to give me an idea of the sensor size, although it will be going further up this way in terms of the track. So where this curve is going to be just on the edge of where that sakura tree is. And what I'll do is I'll give a sense of how long this is by going up the top of the room. So just a second. Okay, so it's pretty long. This is roughly where I want the end of this curve to be, or at the point closest to the board. So it is really quite long. I think the straight section is actually longer than the long straight sections on the double O rail on Crowswood itself. It's going to be quite an interesting layout, I feel, when it's all put together. Let it come down and you see I've got various Shinto shrine and temple buildings with figures I've stuck on. These buildings are all by Tomitech, and there's a mix of Tomitech and Kato people on these buildings. They are kits, but they're really quite simple to put together because it's pictures, and they just sort of clip together. What did give me a bit of trouble was the red shrine, but once I managed to sort of get my brain in order for it, I figured out exactly how it goes together. So I've also got people added as he totally in with the region class 33, but some people I've added a lot on benches. There's some inside the station platform, as well, station building as well as the platforms. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the rolling stock I've got so far, including some I have shown in previous videos, because I think it'll be quite interesting. So this is the C11 number 174, C5733, which I have shown in previous videos. I do have one extra locomotive, and I'll be showing that in a second. They're called old passenger cars on the packaging. The blue variety and the brown variety. The blue variety has just arrived, and so they are product number 10-034, and for the brown, and then add a -1 for the blues. So the blues are slightly more modern, as you can probably tell by the window surrounds being a bit shinier. So these are I think mid 1970s. These blue ones were in service, as the browns are older slightly. There's my Tomix, which is part of the Tomitech brand. See, Cool Heart 111 unit, which is a 4-car suburban EMU, and then I've got various different freight wagons here. What particularly interesting is these it costs less than £4, which is absolutely insane compared to how much that Southern Railway tiny little coal wagon was. That was about £10, whereas this was £3.72, and it's bigger. It's got metal wheels. It's got really nice detailing on the underside. It doesn't have a load, but that doesn't matter, so I can add one. So I have no idea why the prices of British stock are so expensive. Yeah, I've got to pay postage from Japan, but considering also I was buying all these buildings, I added those 2 freight wagons on, and it's just such better value. I've got these coaches on them at the moment. These are really quite interesting. In terms of their coupling, as they have a tiny little coupling between each coach, which is really easy to take apart and reattach. And these are part of the Hitoyoshi train, which runs in Japan on Kyushu, which is a large island, which is in the southwest to the main island, which I believe is Honshu. Please correct me if I remembered that wrong. It comes in a pretty nifty sort of sleeved sort of bookshelf type packaging. If someone would like me to go through what you get in this set properly, I can do. More than happy to do that. But they are. It's a complete train pack, and it does come with the 8620, 58, 654. I'll turn the flash off, see if that helps. Not really. But it's got the red painted connecting rods. It's got the spoked wheels like the C11, as this was one of the first successful classes of locomotive built in Japan, along with the 9600, which was a big heavy goods engine. This was built in 1914, introduced from May, this class, and they were the passenger express engine, although eventually they were replaced by the likes of the C57 in sort of mainline express service. Still lived on though for a very, very long time. They were withdrawn in the mid 1970s. What I particularly like about this train pack is it does come with the sort of we call it a destination board, which can be fitted to the top of the running plate at the front, right above the coupling. The detail on it is insane. But something else which I think is absolutely incredible is, I'm going to turn the flash off now. There's a headlamp on the locomotive, and then there's interior lighting and directional lighting on the coaches. Which is just absolutely insane. Because I don't see this really with 00. So for actually a train pack, yeah, it comes in posh packaging. This entire set was £180, or you can buy other locomotives, usually about 105 to 120, depending where you go. Just the loco on itself, by itself. It's just insane that there's interior lighting in these, as well as the directional lighting that you get with the end units. The blue coaches and the brown coaches, they also have directional lighting. So These two little bulbs, they will light up, and it's on the ends of the rake, so it's directional lighting on 2 units per pack of coaches, and they're about 50 quid. And then they also have pickups on our normal coaches, so you can, and all coaches, so you can fit interior lighting. And this is just a little tangent, but the pickups are tiny. And I watched Sam's Trains did a video on a Hornby TT scale Pullman, and the pickups on that were terrible, and as he was moving it, it would spring back in position. Whereas this, it's just smooth, despite having the pickups on it pre-installed. There's no drag, so the C57 can shift all 8 of those with no trouble. So it comes 8620. Also, the tenders have pickups. They have pickups in them. It's a teeny tiny little connector. It's this. And that has, you can just about see, wires in them going from the tender pickups to help pick up for the locomotive. And again, it looks like the Hornby TT stuff is using the same as the 00. There's great big monstrous wires. I'm just, why? Why is it the N scale stuff has finer pickups and better pickup systems for the lighting than what you get out of a bigger scale? It's more reliable as well. Even this little brake van as well, it has, which I've shown in the previous video, even it's got lighting on it. So I don't know what Hornby's doing these days. There's a little bit of Hornby bashing. I do wish they were doing better, because it'd be a shame to see them go. But hey ho, there's not much that can be done. Right, let's get on to a happier note, and I'll start talking about my plans for this layout. Now that I've actually got the boards in, I can actually show it a bit easier, I feel. Right then, so track plan ideas. Well, ultimately, a loop. It's going to be a tail chaser, but it's going to be scale length. It's going to be something like 850 to 950-ish meters, so nearly a kilometre scale length all round, although that does include, not from here, it'll be about here-ish, when the points come up to go around for platform 2. That bit of track is combined in the total track length. It will sweep, so as it's fairly straight at the moment, it will come in, sweep a bit, as if it's avoiding something, or it's using a land mass if I decide to make it a river, because there's going to be water on the layout, and it will be raised using XPS foam, but anywhere near as much as 6 inches, so to the sort of from the end of the tape measure down, that's the most. I'm looking at doing it from 3 to 6 inch raised. I'm not sure exactly how much yet. In terms of the ballast, it won't be ballast, it will be, track will be put down in position, not stuck down, and then I will go around with a pen or a pencil to mark out where I then need to put the stone mix. of the brown in it to make it look a bit more rural. It is going to be a single line along the back. I might have some sidings, I'm not sure, but every video I've watched to try and figure out what sort of arrangement there should be along the back, showing that Japanese rural railways are single track. So when you start to come into the cities or into the stations where more lines appear, and so they'll be from about here, it'll start going up to go around the station. So where the 33.1 is, going along, I've got about an inch of clearance either way, either side, to not interfere with the supporting legs on the station building. That's a hell of a little engine. Then I have, getting back on topic, from about here to about here, where I've denoted these markings which look like a bridge, but they're not supposed to be. That's where the tunnel is going to be. And then there's going to be a bridge here, which will allow pedestrians to go under the railway to access the station or leave the station, and also go into the shrine and temple. I'm considering having the river come from sort of around here, be quite wide and start to narrow a little bit. Maybe have an oxbow lake as well, and then comes under here, or another section here. So it's two separate bridges with a support here, and then you have your points after the bridge going into the station. But more than likely what I'll do is I'll lengthen this, so then the river comes down through here, and you've also got your footpath as well, and a small footbridge which goes over, which allows you to go up that way and up into this bit. But I'll wait and see what happens, because foam could be quite expensive, but it's going to be worth it because it will give me opportunity to sort of go down as well as up. So Crowswood's set up so I can only go up for hills and whatnot. I can't go down. I can't have any ridges of a line going over something. So if anyone's got any ideas on water, I'm looking at, I think it's called Realistic Water by Woodland Scenics. I'm thinking that will be good stuff to use, partly because this being a Kato Sakura scatter, it is made by Woodland Scenics, so there's some sort of compatibility, I guess, or partnership going on, which makes it a little bit easier. If in a way, just so that it's, I'm not sure what I'm going with that, but it just makes sense to my slightly weird brain. But it also looks like it's really easy to use, and it will go around the rocks and things a bit easier. And then I can add PVA, or I guess something called Mod Podge, and then blow for a straw to get sort of ripples on the river. Never done water before, so I have no idea. So if anyone doesn't have any tips on that, that'll be quite welcome. In the meantime, next couple of weeks or so, I've got this test loop, and I'll be figuring out exactly what I'm doing, how I'm going to be putting it all together, because am I doing it 6-inch high? Am I going to do it a bit lower? Because I have got a mountain as a Yama in the layout name, being Taihouyama. It's going to be a mountain going up, the Great Phoenix Mountain. I do like the idea of the river coming through. And Oxbow Lake is an interesting thing as well to do, potentially. For a bit of variation as well. But I think that's where I'll leave it for now, because I'm starting to run out of ideas and start to just waffle on. So, thank you very much for watching. And I shall see you in the next one, some point in March. Well, thank you, and take care.